Welcome back to Today on Bay TV, and a very big welcome if you're watching us online. I'm Rachel Hopkins, and I'm joined by journalist Spencer Feeney, Assembly Member Caroline Jones, and our very own Caitlin Harris. Hello all, thank you for joining us and staying with us all the way through. Nice to see you again, Caroline.
Thank you, nice to be on you.
Yes, so lots happening, and a lot happening in the UKIP party at the moment, isn't there?
Yes, there is. I went to the conference in Torquay, and we were waiting to announce the selection of the leader, the successful candidate. Delighted that Henry Bolton was elected. He's an ex-army officer, and I think that he's got the steely determination, when I spoke to him on a one-to-one, that he can bring our party forward in a positive light. I'm really excited about the future of UKIP. We've
got a little bit of footage of the moment that he went. Should we take a little look?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to start by thanking my team, if you'll forgive me. They have worked harder than I have. I'm just the raw material. They produced the result. So thank you very much. You all know.
So there we have it. And you said that you're very excited that he's been appointed leader. What do you think it means for the UKIP party?
I think it means that we can go forward, because when he was asked how long he'll be in the job for, because, as you know, we haven't had much success with our leaders in the past year of them staying. But when he was asked how long he intends to stay, he said, well, obviously 4 years. I think he's got the commitment, he's got the drive, he's got the enthusiasm. He's a former Lib Dem, and, you know, I think everyone's belonged to another party before they got to where they want to be then. And I think he's found his niche now. And I think he can really bring us forward in a united way.
With background as an army officer as well, he must be very driven.
I think he's driven, and he's got
a plan, isn't he?
He's got a plan, and I think he's got discipline. And he hasn't made any rash announcements yet as to who his inside team are going to be. I think he's taking things slowly, he's getting to know people, and then he'll make a judgmental decision. He'll have fully weighed up all the consequences of who he's going to put in place. And I think he'll build a successful team around him.
And what about sort of locally in your area? How is that going at the moment?
In our area, yes, the 5 of us now are working together positively, and we've got a good working relationship between the 5 of us. There's no animosity or anything. We're all looking forward to hearing. We've had a letter already from Henry Bolton. All individual members have had this letter. Very encouraging, positive. He's going to meet everyone on a one-to-one basis. I've already.
Is he going to travel down to Swansea?
He's coming. He's coming on the 17th of November. He's coming to visit my branch, and we're all going to have a dinner. And we're all looking forward to having a conversation with him. I was fortunate enough to have a one-to-one with him at the gala dinner. He came and sat on our table, as he did with every person that was there, and had one-to-one conversations all night, which is remarkable. So I think he's got the stamina, the enthusiasm, the organisational ability to take things forward, and I think that he won't make any rash decisions without first thinking about them.
When he comes to visit, are there any in particular issues that you would like to raise with him?
There are going to be issues. Obviously, I'm the chairman of my branch, which is, you know, of Bridgend, and we're incorporating all the other constituencies now and having one big branch, and we'll have all these meetings. I'll take on board what the members want to ask him, but obviously the people that are there on that evening, they can meet him and ask him for themselves anyway. So, you know, there's no conversation that's barred. If they want to ask Henry Bolton something, feel free to ask, you know, and that's the way that we can all pull together.
That's great. What do you think about what's happening nationally, especially in the press? There's so much in the press with the Conservative Party, of course. We spoke earlier, you were part of the Conservative Party a long time ago.
But a long time ago. I must say that I voted Labour all my life. I was from a socialist background. I was part of the Conservative Party for around 2 years, and then I joined UKIP. So predominantly my life was with the Labour Party. So there we have it. But I think it's disappointing at the moment to see the way the Conservative Party are performing with Theresa May. I think they should all get behind her. She has made mistakes because when Brexit was announced and she said Brexit means Brexit, she should have got on with the job. It would have caused a lot of less uncertainty in the business world, and people wouldn't have been had so much animosity towards one another. So I think all that area could have been disbanded had she gone about things. She had the mandate. She was the majority government. She should have gone ahead with it. She didn't. There's been a total loss in confidence in her. Do you think, Spence, I can see that you're thinking about something.
I'm just thinking,
do you think it can be
if Theresa May and the Conservatives get their act together on Brexit, that'll finally kill off UKIP, won't it?
No, definitely not, because after Brexit, if Brexit does happen under Theresa May, there's still an awful lot to do. I mean, we could say that about any party, couldn't we?
But in the last election, your vote collapsed.
We campaigned. Yes, of course it did, because it was more like a presidential election. You couldn't call that a normal election. It was about two parties. Even Plaid Cymru collapsed under it. Yeah, and the Lib Dems were non-existent. So all the smaller parties had a lesser role to play, because it was put out to the public. You either vote Theresa May or you get Corbyn, or you vote Corbyn, and you know. So it was totally between two parties.
So how do the minor parties, including UKIP, reverse that?
Well, we reverse it by setting out our stall with a set of policies that we would like post-Brexit. For example, in my country, Wales, I want to see more manufacturing. I want to see more industry in Wales. I want to see more jobs come into Wales. And I want it to be a low-tax economy so that we attract investment. That's my aim. I want to see less poverty, because in my region, in Aberavon, for example, 24% of families and children are in poverty. And I want to see that become a thing of the past. Don't forget, the Labour government it's been a Labour-led assembly for 20 years, and we still have child poverty in Wales. Now, you know, you can look at any party and find fault, but I want to see all parties working on this for Wales and for England, obviously, and other places in the UK, to get their acts together, all work together instead of all this bickering, get on with the job. And let's make Wales a prosperous place to invest, to attract, and to be prosperous.
Do you think the media are perhaps turning it into a circus about bickering and who's saying this, rather than?
I just wish that things would portray more truthfully, really, because what I'm finding is there's a lot of misconception about Brexit. Every time you have a programme on about Brexit, you have perhaps 4 people for Remain and 1 Brexiteer. Well, that's not the way that it was in the election. You know, it was more people for Brexit and less for Remain. But now you have everyone trying to topple the Brexit vote and putting Remainers constantly on. And I don't think that's portraying factual information.
And is it helpful to know that now, if there was to be another vote, people would, it would possibly be a different outcome, wouldn't it?
I don't think so, because the people that I've spoken to, I've not met anyone in the circle of people that I know who have said that they would reverse their vote from Brexit to Remain. But I have met people that have said that they wouldn't vote Remain again. They can now see the light and they want to vote for Brexit. I don't know is the answer, really, because I'm in one circle. Someone else could go in another circle and have a totally different opinion. But I would like to say that I want to see things portrayed accurately by the media.
Fortunately, we're not going to have a second referendum on do we want to leave the EU?
Hypothetical.
Because
yes, hypothetical.
As far as I can see, the only thing that a referendum achieves is it divides people, and it divides communities and divides nations. You know, we've seen it with Brexit, we've seen it with the Scottish independence, we've seen it now in Catalonia. So I'm not a fan of referenda. We have a representative democracy in this country with the House of Commons, and that's where decisions ought to be made, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us again, Caroline. Lovely to see you as always.
Thank you.
And thank you, Spencer, for your film. And Caitlin, lovely to see you on the sofa again. Thank you. We're going to be back after a quick break. Stay with us. We'll be joined by our very own Keith Milward telling us what's happening in the shows. Welcome back to Today on Bay TV. I'm Rachel Hopkins and I'm joined by our very own Keith Milward. Hello Keith, lovely to see you again.
Oh,
I believe
great.
You've had a big weekend up in the Big Smoke.
Big weekend, yes.
Yes.
Not so smoky these days,
No,
yes.
no.
Yes, I've been up to London, beautiful weekend for
Yeah.
us all. And I got into a preview of Young Frankenstein. Now, I've been waiting for this to come to London for 10 years. Big hit on Broadway. And Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, if you remember. So, of course, he's so comical when it comes to things like The Producers and Blazing Saddles. And,
Yes.
But Young Frankenstein is starring Leslie Joseph from Birds of a Feather and Ross Noble, the comedian, as well as West End stalwarts then. Summer Stralin, a young stalwart, and Hadley Fraser as well. So I did take a bit of film, so I don't know whether...
Yes.
Yes, hope it's come out. What a wonderful night. What a surprise. I didn't think I'd be able to get in to see this tonight, but just before the opening night I've seen Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks' hilarious show. I was very fortunate to see it at one time in America, but wow, what a gem for the London theatre. One of the very, very best. Terrific. An absolute hoot. Yes. Please, I hope you have the chance of seeing it yourselves. I think it's only a matter of time before it does a tour, and then it should be available for all local groups to be able to perform at some stage. Top marks. Terrific.
So you're really sort of telling everybody to go and watch it. You were very impressed then.
Yes, so the West End's looking good at the moment. What with 42nd Street and what with Young Frankenstein, and just across the river with the Follies, you know, three terrific shows for me anyway. But lots going on around here because it's the Swansea International Festival. That's continuing until the 15th. And in the Grand Theatre, we have opera because we have Madame Butterfly, you know. So that's with the Russian State Opera, and so that's on the Wednesday of this week. And
so very cultured, but we were talking earlier about how people shouldn't feel put off if they haven't been to the ballet or the opera or something like it before, that they should go and try it anyway.
It's giving it a try, yes.
It's not all for toffs, is it?
Oh,
you don't have to get
no,
dressed
it's
up.
beautiful
It can be,
singing and the settings as well with the Russian State Opera as well. No, it's going to be a beautiful one. And so as well as Madame Butterfly, there's Tosca then on Thursday. But I've brought some film of Madame Butterfly.
Oh, we have to take a look at that.
Yes, please.
So moving.
Yes, it's the same story as Miss Saigon. Miss Saigon's the updated version, you know. So, yes, that's in the Grand this week. And there's Dunvant Mill Choir and the Morriston Rugby Choir are in the Brangwyn then on Friday.
They've got amazing voices.
Oh, yes, Friday the 13th, but it'll be a lucky one for everyone who gets into the concert.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And, yes, they have good voices. And then in the arts wing of Grand Theatre is Llewellyn Theatre, and they are putting on a play called Granton Street, and it's about an family arguing the night before an election, so perhaps this resonates today as well. Yeah. So, and Joe Brand is in the Grand this Friday as well, again, Friday the 13th. But Saturday is The Light Princess.
What's Joe Brand doing at the theatre?
Well, just stand up, yes. She's got to stand there for me, and I end up laughing just looking at her. But she can be quite cutting, can't she?
She can. I don't know if I'd want to be right in the front.
Oh, no way.
She doesn't tend to turn around.
I think she picks on celebrities and mainly and politicians, but she has a good dig at men, I know that. But The Light Princess is on Saturday then. Catherine Finch has written this, and The Harpist. So again, we've got some film of this ballet, but some circus in it as well. So,
oh, wow.
Yes.
Let's take a look at that.
Yes, please.
We can't have a look at that, unfortunately, so we'll just have to go and watch
it.
It sounds lovely, the mix of them. Perhaps it's a little bit like Cirque du Soleil, which is sort of gymnastics and circus and dance, isn't it?
Quite gentle. It's about a princess who is weightless, and so she's floating, but only can come down to earth, back down to the ground, if she finds her true love.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. We have found that clip, so we'll take a little look at that. I love that. I mean, you know that my mum and I always used to go and see the ballet as a little girl when I was a little girl, and that sort of is like a different modern approach.
That's right,
to ballet,
and you are a dancer, and you
well, not anymore, but a long time ago.
But you appreciate the choreography then.
Oh, so much, and just the way the bodies move. It's so difficult, isn't it?
It looks lovely, doesn't it? For the whole family, I think.
Yeah, and I think if I could keep my daughter, who's only 2, I won't take her because she'd probably put everybody else off. But if she kept still for long enough, she'd enjoy that as well, because visually and sounding, it's lovely, isn't it?
So pretty. It's the time for festivals, though, and the Welsh National Opera is still in Cardiff, and I'm looking forward to seeing De Fledermaus on Saturday night.
What's that about?
Yes, it's De Fledermaus. It's good, the bat, and it's so that's. Strauss opera, of course, but there are other operas. Eugene Onegin is on this week, so it's better to look up the website because there's a different opera every night in Cardiff. And then in the new theatre is Death Trap, and that's starring Jessie Wallace and Paul Bradley. You know, so Jessie Wallace, of course, of East End. So that's they say that it's such a twisting tale. There's more twists than a bucket full of snakes, that's what they say.
She'll be used to that. Yes.
And then back in Swansea, Mike Doyle is in the Heist in High Street, and that's on the 12th. You know, so he's such a wonderful singer as well as comedian. So that's so he's going to be telling stories and singing in the Heist on the 12th. Kerry Dupree then is in the Neath Gwyn Hall on the 13th of October, and he's looked sensational, doesn't he? Seems to get better and better.
Yeah. So I'd like him to come and do my makeup. Look at that, fantastic!
Incredible, and of course he's doing so well, and so is his sister. And just a reminder that next week Sunset Boulevard, starring Rhea Jones, is in the Grand Theatre, and that's my choice of the season, I think, to see Rhea back in Swansea with the Triumph. She triumphantly took over for Glenn Close last year in Sunset Boulevard in London. So she's brought the show to Swansea.
Big success story.
Yes, isn't it? So lots for us to enjoy, from opera to dance to comedy to good drama.
how you choose what to go and see, that's the difficulty, isn't there, with there being so much out there?
Not enough nights in the week for me.
No.
But I think it is worth giving thought and trying new things. You know, so I'm all for encouraging everyone to go to
Don't be nervous and put off.
The ballet.
Yes.
Not
at least once, isn't it?
Oh, yes,
at least
definitely.
Once. Thank you for coming in, Keith. Thank you again. Lovely to see you as always. And thank you to all our guests today for joining us. And thank you at home and online for tuning in. See you again tomorrow.